Welcome to Transit Talk, where we have -1 co-host and +2 co-hosts, which makes it 3 co-hosts.
3 co-hosts. I'm Caden.
I'm AJ. Are there any actual hosts, or are they all co-hosts?
We're all co-hosts.
Co-hosts are
I'm
actual
Will.
hosts.
Well, where does the co come
They're
from?
both hosting at the same time.
So, if we have 3 people hosting...
It's cooperative. Co-hosts.
Yeah, but if there are 3 people hosting, are there any people...
We're equal
not
parts here,
hosting?
alright? If we ever become famous for this, Kyle will not be a part of that, and you guys will be, and we'll all be equal.
33.3 repeating percent host.
Exactly.
But then what about Kyle? He just doesn't
Kyle
get
gets
any of it?
ditched. I'm never hanging out with him
As soon as
again.
we make it big, he's gone.
What a nerd.
What a nerd. He wishes he was here. Maybe we can stop by his work later and harass him.
We should.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy boy! Give me a custard!
Give
No,
me
no,
a
no. Say
vanilla.
ice cream. You gotta say ice cream.
Yeah.
Just to tick him off a little bit. Give me an ice cream.
I want your finest ice cream!
So, I guess I'll start off with the story that I've been dying to tell you guys.
I'm buckled in.
AJ, would you find my Photos app, please?
Yes.
Is this KMO?
That's the one. That's what I want you guys to see.
Okay, let me just read this off. Man charged in connection with South County carjacking. Marcel Abrams is accused of carjacking. Posted
February 26th.
6, 2019. So what's the story?
It's like
So-
a year ago.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know it was that long ago. But this guy, who's, I guess, out on bail, wants a job where I work.
Oh.
I mean, as long as your car is locked, I don't see why not.
And I don't think it says it on there, but he was also charged with armed carjacking.
Oh.
So
Well, he wouldn't rob one of his coworkers though. That's
Yeah,
too
or
obvious.
the story works at, I feel
exactly, but still is kind of sus. So he comes
Yeah.
in on Friday and he asks my coworkers, "Hey, can I have an interview?" And they're like, "Okay." And one of the first things he asks is, "Can I be late?" Like,
like.
like-
He's realistic.
it's like, well, just schedule it for later, man. It's like, if you think you're gonna be late, just like say I can't be there till this time. So they work it out, and he's like, okay, I'll be there too tomorrow. On the next day, which is Saturday. And I get this information on Saturday morning, and I'm like, okay. And they both say, the coworkers who talked to this guy, they're like, so we looked him up afterwards, and he was, I don't think he's convicted yet, but he's charged. I'm really not clear on the details, but like half felon, I guess you could call it.
But he's out on bail. You said?
Maybe, but the date you said makes it sound like
It was 2019.
Yeah.
so
He
it's
could be
2020.
clear now.
Yeah. Maybe he
So-
paid off what he needed to pay off or whatever.
But it's just I was like, okay. So later in the day, 3:30 rolls by, way after his interview, and he actually does come in, and he's taking the bus in. Despite the fact that my boss had been like, you can just call in and have an over the phone interview, so you don't have to come out all the way here, because he lives in St. Louis County.
Well, he
like-
wants to make a good impression. I
He
get
does,
that.
yeah, which I appreciate. But his interview it just goes okay. Apparently he wasn't super sharp or anything. And then he goes back to the bus stop, which is just outside of the store. And it's pretty cold outside, maybe 25 degrees or something. And he's only wearing like a light hoodie. So
It's a tough man.
yeah,
He's
tough
a tough
man.
man.
And here's the story. I've given you the back.
All about how my life.
Got whipped turned upside down.
Oh, you're about to. It's kind of crazy. So, I'm walking out to my car, and he's like, "Hey," and he says something. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Here, come closer. I can't hear you." So he comes closer, and I still can't hear him. And he comes up right next to me. He's like, "Hey, can you look up when the bus comes?" I'm like, "Okay." We're working through it, and we're finding the stuff, and we go into maps, and we're about to find it, the time, and then all of a sudden we hear the bus pulling away from the stop, and we both turn around, and we're like, "Oh shoot!" You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh
SpongeBob
crap!"
episode.
He's like, "Oh no, I missed it." I'm like, "Well, when do you think the next one's gonna be by?" He's like, "Probably not for another hour or something." And I look at him and I go, Think we can catch it? And he's like, yeah, probably. And I'm like, all right, get in. So him and I run into my car, and apparently my boss did in fact see us running into my car. This felon and I.
Were you still on? Were you still on a schedule or not?
I had just gotten off. And so this guy and I, we run into my car and I peel out of the parking lot, and we're like flying down Manchester, right? And we can see the bus, and we keep hitting greens, which is nice. And we get up to by this Schnucks, and then he's like, "So I watched Sonic yesterday."
He seems like an all right dude.
He seems nice. I like him.
I know. I was like, what? Yeah. And he's like,
Yeah.
you know, I thought the Eggman would be fat, but he was skinny. You know, I thought they would have found a fat actor for him, right? I'm like, yeah, I figured they could have been able to do that.
They could have even made Jim Carrey fat.
Yeah,
they got
could've.
CGI. Come on.
Yeah. And then the light at New Ballin is red, and luckily the bus is also stopped there. And I'm like sweating out my palms basically at this point, because I'm like, what if we don't catch the bus?
And you're just driving around a felon.
I know. I'm like, what do I do?
It's law. You must drive him home if
I
he
know.
doesn't make the bus.
Because I have kidnapped him at this point.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's kidnapped me, as my boss would imagine from what she saw.
Yeah, get in the car, run.
Yeah, I know, right?
Go fast.
I pull up next to the bus and I just start honking at it. And this guy, he gets out of the car and he starts waving at the bus, indicating that he wants to get in. And the bus driver kind of looks slowly over at us, and he points at the bus stop that's across the intersection, and we're just like, no, what?
Not like this.
I'm like, no, what if we can't make it? But the bus driver, he when it turned green, he stayed there, so there was plenty of room for us to go up in front of him and go to the parking lot. And he got out and he's like, God bless you, thank you so much. And then he went to the bus, and I was like, mission accomplished.
Hey, he seems kind of cool.
He does seem kind of cool. I mean, there has to be some reason why he stole that car, right? He can't just be like, I wanted a car.
He had to see Sonic on time.
Exactly.
So he used a gun to run.
People make mistakes. That's the moral of this story. Will's mistake was picking up a felon that day.
Exactly, that was my mistake.
I don't know if it was a mistake.
Oh, I know. I don't think
Yeah,
it was.
no, exactly. Yeah, it felt like it was unreal, because I was just think we can catch it.
Yeah.
It was
kind of sound like a movie situation.
Yeah, it was like some sort of game or movie. It was like, what am I doing?
It was almost like Sonic. Put it all pieces together.
Will is in the Sonic movie.
That or that man was just a promotion for the Sonic movie.
Yeah, his entire story. He never actually armed a car.
He armed the car. He just loaded it up with guns.
Yeah, armed the car. I just realized what I said. He's an engineer.
It's set to blow.
The last time I was here, I was just parked in the parking lot, just for fun. I don't know. I do that sometimes, where I just park and wait for nothing. This guy just parked horizontally in the handicap park. He did not have a handicap thing. He ran inside for 10 seconds, and then didn't even go in the actual building, and then just sprinted back out to his car and peeled off.
Maybe
he
really didn't like handicap.
And he peed off.
Okay, well, that's my story. Thank you guys for being an audience.
Hey, I like being an audience.
I'm glad to be on Transit Talk.
Yes, I am too. This is fun.
That was awesome.
No, it was Transit Talk.
What's your
And
outro?
I was Will.
I was David.
I was AJ.
And this has been Transit Talk with a dash of the Smiling Crew.
Crystal blue persuasion. It's
Welcome back to Transit Talk.
I'm not done yet. Hey, you want to hear my impression of Kyle?
And then after you cough, you have to, with red, watery eyes, just stare distantly as if you're about to die for a few seconds
He
after you
always
cough.
does that.
Yeah,
though.
he's
It's
like,
Yeah, he does. He looks out like, this is it.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not that funny.
All right, welcome. I don't know. Actually, you guys wouldn't know. I haven't released the 3rd episode yet, but I don't know if you guys know what the intro is. I don't know if I know what it is either. I think. Oh, you know what? Kyle and I came up with it. It is Welcome to Transit Talk. We are rolling.
Welcome to Transit Talk. We are rolling.
Did you get
Welcome to Transit Talk. We're skating.
Oh, like recording and also
Yeah,
driving.
yeah.
I'm your co-host, Caden.
I'm your main host. Oh no, my belt. AJ.
AJ's sitting in the back on the hump, and now his belt is locked, which means he will suffer for the rest of the drive.
it? We'll be
We're gonna just unbuckle really quick.
in a permanent state of suffering. Does anybody know when Schnucks closes?
No, but
probably-
Walmart's still open.
Probably not before 10, so we're probably good.
You
Probably like 11 or 12.
Google that for me, please.
Yeah, I got you.
Woo. My brother, I won't say which one, but you know the
Logan.
Taco Bell on Manchester near us?
Yes.
It wasn't Logan, I'll tell you that. So it's either Gavin, Ethan, or I'm talking about myself in a weird fashion.
We're good, by the way.
It's actually,
Okay.
so this Taco Bell that's near us, he, when he was a permit driver,
When he was a pervert.
when he was back when he was a pervert, no, when he was a permit
He's not
driver,
anymore. He got much better.
he ran into the pole, like the giant one that says Taco
Yeah.
Bell on the top, and left a dent in it that lasted for like years.
Ah.
Did they fix the dent
Then,
ever?
no, then it finally popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Wind, cold, it just fixed itself.
No, it's just cool. Whenever I went there, when it was still there, I was like, oh yeah, a
He did
little
that.
touch of a berry.
Touch of a berry. Didn't you tell me about another time that you almost ran into Taco Bell?
I almost did. I did not though.
Yeah, almost.
Maybe you should just avoid Taco Bell.
Nope.
The berry should
Taco
just
Bell
avoid Taco
actually
Bell.
has magnets. That's why this is happening.
Yeah,
They've got
it's
berry
not our fault.
magnets. Sitting on the hump is an exciting experience.
I know, right? I kind
If
of
you
like
have
it.
a little bump, you're taller.
I'm looking in the rear view and AJ's just like,
How's it going? Hey everyone, you watch Transit.
you're watching Transit Talk.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
More like Applebee's.
So, got any conspiracy theories you want to talk about?
Wyoming isn't real.
Tell me about that.
I still don't get that one. I don't know why.
Because I did hear recently someone just said, like, you've never met anyone from Wyoming, and I was like, I don't know, I've probably never met anyone from Delaware either.
Okay, Delaware is the first state.
But Wyoming actually isn't real. Delaware is.
What are the people from Wyoming?
Well, listen, I tried to explain it to you, but
I tried to explain it to Will.
you don't know the science. I said I would try to
Oh, I
explain
think
it
that
to
I
you.
have tried to explain
But you don't know the science, so you just wouldn't get it. It's not worth. Okay. It's not real. I was gonna explain it again, but I decided not
Fake
to.
news.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
how you said fake news. The guy who said, like, AJ's my favorite, you're just like, fake news.
Fake news. Yeah.
I've been using that as an excuse. Like,
not real.
I was like, hey, I was talking about a friend of mine to another guy, and I was like, he's always right. And he's like, no, he's not. And I'm like, fake news.
Yeah.
I just
Fake
walked
news.
away.
I got it from my uncle Nick, who's a policeman in some faraway land.
What's
Police land.
Wyoming?
Police land. Yeah.
They're all policemen.
But
Probably police live happily.
Pollockmen.
he because when me and Kyle went to welding camp at Rankin University, we found a picture. We found that someone had written the words "Nick sucks" on the wall, and so we took a picture of it because there was a guy in our group named Nick, so
Yeah.
we thought it was funny. But then when I posted on my Instagram, my uncle Nick swiped up and said "fake news," and I've been using it ever since.
Fake news. Nick does not suck. Fake news.
He's a woodsmith.
Fake
too.
Nick.
Woodworker. That's the Taco Bell. Nope,
Nick
never
Hall-
mind.
You guys a secret about
I make less
transit
mistakes.
talk. I probably talk like 40% more than what you hear. Most of the stuff I edit out is just like dumb garbage that I say.
Like bleep blop bloop blop. Edit that out, Will. If you want, I can break someone's knee and then we can go in the handicap spot.
Ow.
It breaks my knee.
That's something that gets me. I don't mind needles in real life, but watching needles in movies and then also watching people's knees get broken.
Yeah, I was curious the other day. I'm like, what would happen if you like had a needle through your hand? It would just be like, oh. I mean, because needle's very thin, right?
It would hurt definitely, but I think
I feel like you'd freak out more than it would hurt.
in a second it would get not that bad. I think. I could be wrong though. I've never had something stabbed through my hand.
I never have either.
All right.
That's kind of a nice thing.
Well,
we have
now
arrived at Schnucks.
we have arrived at Schnucks. We are not in transit. Thank you for listening. Welcome back. I'm gonna have diarrhea. T-minus 49
Hey,
minutes.
this is transit.
Welcome to Transit Talk.
I can feel it coming down, man.
Will's gonna have diarrhea.
In this episode, Will's gonna have some massive diarrhea. 48 minutes
Not
counting.
during the episode.
So in this episode, you will hear some wicked stuff going on.
Wicked diarrhea, man. Wicked.
He just drank an entire cup of so it's Andy's frozen custard, but
Well,
with
it was
every
not frozen.
it was like liquid. Every
Got like a bit of a pecan stuck in my
Pecan.
epiglottis sort of area.
epiglottis. He had every non-chocolate topping blended into this horrible concoction, and he ate the whole thing because he's amazing.
He is amazing. But included in that was like just straight shots of
Come on, man.
espresso and mints. There was lots of mints. There were pecans. There were peanuts. What else? Malt powder. Just regular old tasty, yummy malt powder.
Espresso.
I already said espresso. No?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
No, that's good. So there was some espresso in there. Hey, what was that, Caden?
How would you
I
say to
feel
my
like
face?
You could have a little Andy's store inside of me and sell like all the little toppings.
Except they wouldn't have the custard. It would just be the topping.
There was a little bit of. There was one spoonful where it's like, oh, this is actual custard, but just one.
I had a bite. It was pretty bad. There were maraschino cherries in it.
Those actually were the best part. Those were the
Really?
only
Those
redeeming.
are the worst part in my bite.
Mm.
Then again, I didn't eat the whole cup like you, so
The mint is what almost got me.
yeah.
I almost was like, that's.
I had
too
a
much.
mint cookie concrete. That was pretty tasty.
I had an Oreo concrete. That was real good.
Honestly,
With a shot of espresso.
it wasn't that bad. If someone was like, do this for like $10, I probably would have done it for $10. I would do it again. But like
You did it for
$5,
free.
I wouldn't do it for $5.
You just did it to prove a point.
Well, you have standards.
I mean, at this point, yeah, I basically just did it to prove a point. But I'm gonna see if Kyle will at least give me one time, like free.
Like he'll pay for it.
Technically, you didn't have to pay for this one. You
Yeah,
just gave it
this
to
was
you.
not.
We did get free shots of espresso. Too.
I don't even know who benefited from this. Nobody really. Maybe you guys. Maybe.
This is the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals, maybe ever.
Just like complete destruction on all ends.
Kyle Wood.
Well, no, maybe on all of your ends.
You ever
What
notice
is
they
it?
have a street called Kyle Wood in your neighborhood?
No.
What was
It's right
Kyle
there.
Wood?
Kyle Wood.
Kyle would what?
I'm gonna
Must
ignore
be
that
about
comment.
to rip one.
Don't ignore that comment. That's the start of a great joke.
Prelude to diarrhea. Oh god, I might feel some coming up my throat. My hand on the window button.
That's because your body's not meant to digest all of those things at once.
My body is not meant to
My body was not ready.
experience the full, unlimited wrath of Andy's.
The unlimited power.
of Mr. Andy.
Coming at you
Oh
hard.
my god. I don't feel too good. I feel okay though.
It's alright, Will.
Just need some cranberry to kind of balance everything out.
I don't know.
Some
cranberry
extremely
is.
sugary cranberry.
Some bleach to wash it down.
Yeah. That should do the trick.
I did buy some bleach at the same time. Did they give us any weird looks? Like, what?
No,
The old guy,
worker-
he was too nice.
He also seemed kind of done.
He knew what was up. He was like, Russian roulette with bleach and 4 juice.
Yeah, been there.
You think I got stuck working at a Schnucks?
I'm lucky to be alive.
I'm lucky to be named George.
Okay, well,
Alright. Well, this has been Transit Talk.
This has been Transit Talk, featuring Prelude to Vomit, my new single coming out on iCloud.
that audio quality is probably pretty bad. Well, I would like you guys to remember. Actually, I'm starting to forget. Do you guys remember what I'm thinking of? Maybe. What is okay to be and what is okay not to be?
It's okay to be not racist.
Wait, no, it's okay to be racist.
Well, thank you guys.
Ow!
All right.